What's up, everyone? Welcome to our first episode, our first live stream breakdown of The Mandalorian Season 2. Today we're talking about Chapter 9, The Marshal. I have a lot that I want to gush about for this episode, but Molly and I, we're not going to do it alone today. We have Lacey, John, and James joining us from the Resistance broadcast. What's up, guys?
Hey, Alex and Molly, how are you? Thanks for having us. We are very excited as you are to talk about this.
Big time.
Yeah, excited. We take turns, so I wait for my turn. Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're excited too because you guys have been doing this for a season already. You had us on your Mando fan show last year, and I was like, I definitely want to get all of you on our own discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, since we're all talking about how excited we were for this episode, so I just want to get everyone's initial thoughts. And Lacey, we'll start with you this time.
So I watched it right at 3 a.m. here on the East Coast. These two guys were in bed. I watched it at 3 like a crazy person. I don't even know how I'm awake right now because I just haven't recovered fully, but the adrenaline alone was enough for me. Although, I don't know, did you guys watch it right at 3 too?
No.
Okay.
Which is weird. It's weird because we've been staying up late like every night.
Yeah.
But Alex was like, if we stay up and watch it, I'm going to want to write and then I'll be up. And
then you don't sleep. Yeah.
That's
where I am. So, first of all, the app wouldn't load. So I watched the whole thing on my phone.
Oh, no.
I was like, let me watch it on my phone, which is fine. But it was really great. I mean, there were a lot of moments where I was like, no, really? Yes. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. And just like yelling, basically.
I kind of wonder, the adrenaline might have kept me up if we had stayed up. Like, we've been staying up until 3 and then I'd go to sleep. And then like, I know that I'd have been up till like 6 a.m. if we'd stayed up.
That was me.
I saw a lot of people posting pictures of the screen that said like, we're having difficulties. And like, so most people didn't really get to see it till like 3:30, 4. And
that was last year too, right? Same thing happened.
Yes, it was like unavailable. I was like, what do you mean it's unavailable?
Everybody's like,
I got to say this because I know you guys have listeners everywhere, viewers everywhere. There were a lot of people that I mutually follow on Twitter and stuff like, need a cup of coffee, got to stay up till midnight. I'm like, midnight?
Yeah, right?
Like us East Coasters, are you kidding me? We were well fine 3 hours ago. Like 3 a.m. is what we got to deal with. So
midnight, no question. I would have been up. I would have done the video. It would have been awesome.
Am I gonna make it to midnight? Get out of here, LA! Come on.
These Hollywood elites. James, what was your initial reaction?
So we do our score on our show, and I was like, I don't know. I had to go back and look at all of the scores that I gave all the episodes last season, and I still feel like I might like this episode as like one of my favorites, beating all episodes in the last season. I was really blown away by how much it felt like a short film. Like it's very ironic that Cobb Vanth was in this because we are talking spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers.
If you haven't watched it yet, why are you here? Like, I just
why are you here? Go away.
Yeah.
It's ironic that Cobb Vanth was in this because it felt like an interlude pulled straight out of Aftermath. It's like there's Star Wars here, and then this one chunk of hour-long story that is just great. And it definitely ties into the other seasons and stuff, but I just felt like this was that classic, like, guy shows up, got to solve the problem, killing the Krayt Dragon story, which is like more of a Legends thing, but like here it is, it's real, it's right in front of you, and you get it, and it's 1 hour, and I just felt like it was so front to back perfect. Like I just really loved this episode.
That's a great point. Like I hadn't thought of it in that way, but it is almost like the fourth interlude for Cobb Vanth. But I'm going to talk about Cobb Vanth a lot later. So, John, what was your initial reaction?
Initial reaction overall was the visual effects just knocked me back. What we've been hearing over and over, like beating the dead horse from season 1, and everyone has their take about how great the volume is and how it can change everything and it's going to change the future of Star Wars. But like this really like took my breath away what they did with the Krayt Dragon. Because like you think about like this show doesn't exist according to Jon Favreau if Game of Thrones didn't happen. And Game of Thrones didn't end that long ago, and this looks a billion times better than the dragons from Game of Thrones, in my opinion. So whatever they are doing right now, and including the sand and everything around the environment of it, felt like it fit right in there. It didn't feel like it was plopped in. So that took my breath away. The other thing, which is probably an unpopular opinion, but hear me out, I kind of like that they had Baby Yoda take a back seat in this episode. Because everyone's just Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. We were just talking about the cereal, this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm glad that, they were like, here he is. Don't worry. He's cool. Now we're focusing on the Mando and Cobb Vanth. Don't worry. He's over here. He's cool. But he wasn't the center stage. And I think maybe Favreau did that deliberately to focus back on our main character. And then the last thing, I was like, oh, Tatooine again. Oh, going back to, but they made Tatooine feel fresh. It's like, I've been to this location before, but not this part of the state or something. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I felt like I was on Tatooine, but it was a different look and a different spot. We weren't hovering around Mos Eisley the whole time or Mos Espa or anything like that. But you still got the beats and the sand people and that sort of thing. So those three things were really what stood out for me.
Molly, do you have a rebuttal for the Baby Yoda statement, or are you okay with the amount of Baby Yoda in this episode?
I'm okay with it. I'm glad they're saving new stuff because we saw a lot of shots of Baby Yoda from this episode that we saw in the trailer, like him closing his little pram, and I mean him getting in the little pot was adorable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was satisfied with the amount of Baby Yoda in this episode.
Okay. Good. Other than that, what were your initial thoughts?
I know we both got super excited when we saw the title card. Just seeing the word Marshal on there, we were like, "Oh my god, it's happening! They're doing it! What is going on?" And I think you said it in your review earlier. This felt kind of like a mixture of two different episodes from season 1, the Mudhorn episode, and I think it was episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
So they had to get a town to come together, work together with the Sand People to take care of a monster. So I thought that was really neat. And yeah, they continue to humanize the Tusken Raiders, which I thought was really cool. And I liked that. I don't know how I feel about the language. It's
yelling.
I was like, how is Mando speaking their language?
It's like the same way Han speaks Shriwook, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a little silly when a human does it, but
I was thinking later or earlier today that the interesting thing about the Sand People being kind of humanized, it really is going to be a stark reality when you rewatch Attack of the Clones, because you're going to be like, oh man, I saw those as like weird creature people too, but now I'm starting to see them as civil or you know what I mean, like they are able to understand real structure and you know what I mean, society. I don't know, it's kind of different. So I feel like Anakin going and like killing all those Sand People is actually going to hit harder now that we've seen them kind of live and exist a little bit more.
Yeah, they're like a proud people. Mando was saying that they fight back
they were there first. Yeah, that's the thing they said last season.
Yeah, I want to know
it's their land.
Every other like it was clearly like the sign language in addition to vocalizing the language, and I noticed like almost every other movement, Mando was like doing this. Like I don't know what. So I want to find out. Like, Alex, that's your job to find out what that is. He's constantly like doing this. I don't know.
Mando knows like 3 words, and he's just doing his best.
He's like chop the onions, pull the beard.
I was wondering because there's a scene where they like show him just kind of talking to him, and he does like a thing, right? And then later he stands up and he almost does the exact same hand movements, but he says, "How do we kill it?" And so I was like, oh, well, now I feel like I know a little bit of what he was saying earlier, even though there was no dialogue there. Interesting.
Since I see Ted Comet sent in a super chat and it's relevant to what we're talking about right now, we will be taking questions for the last 20 minutes of the show. If you want to go ahead and do super chats, go for it. That'll get your question in the queue. Otherwise, I'll just be keeping an eye on chat when we get to that segment of the show. But since this is relevant to the discussion, the Tusken Raiders did kidnap and hurt Shmi.
Yes.
I
thought that honestly when we were talking about it in the back of my head, because I know on our show we've talked about it before of like the worst moments in Star Wars, and I made that one of my worst moments. I was like, this woman was tortured, terribly tortured. So I hear you, Ted.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's that they're just not savages. They're not complete savages. It's just that like the two groups don't understand each other. And I think that that's what this episode is largely about, is setting aside differences so that you can solve a common problem. Which that's what the villagers and the Tusken Raiders had to do. And on the smaller scale, Din and Cobb Vanth had to kind of do that as well.
Speaking of brutal, there was one thing that I didn't mention in my reaction that really caught me off guard, and it was the acid spit that I was not expecting, that just like mutilated people. And I was like, oh, we're going there. Okay.
That's why they call it a dragon. It breathes fire, kind of acid, something.
Yeah.
Oh, that caught me. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. All right. It's not just eating people. It's like totally just killing everyone.
Is Beskar like the spit proof then? Because he was like covered in it. And
well, I mean, that could give us a hint as to how we're talking spoilers, how Boba Fett survived. I mean,
because they did have him fly out of it, and I thought to myself, like, oh, are they trying to tell us how Boba Fett did this?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically the same explanation as in Legends, is the armor helped him survive. I'm still really curious as to, why he took it off in the first place, how it wound up in the sandcrawler. Was he just unconscious and the Jawas robbed him, maybe?
Yeah.
Like season one, that's my stuff.
I went back and was re-listening to the interlude stuff today just because it was hot topic. And they were saying some of the pieces of the sail barge and stuff were cutting open and hurting the Sarlacc too. And I was like, oh man, maybe I never picked up on that. But like it could have opened wounds or open spots that freshly eaten people might still be able to get out now that there's an open spot. I don't know.
Since you bring up the interlude, I want to talk about Cobb Vanth and the way that I thought they did a really great job adapting what was told in the book well enough. They changed some small details here and there, I would say. Like there's more of a back and forth in the book with how he gets the armor and there's someone else involved. But like broad strokes, I was kind of surprised that they did any of this. I'm thrilled that they did it. I just like, when that title card came up, I was like, oh my God, they are doing Cobb Vanth. It felt like when I realized Grand Admiral Thrawn was going to be in season 3 of Star Wars Rebels during that trailer, we're like, they're actually doing this. And it made me so happy. I think I have a big old crush on Cobb Vanth now.
With that hair, I would too.
Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
I mean, just throw him in there.
Timothy Oliphant's fine. Cobb Vanth.
It's just, don't you wish like a little bit, just for the sake of getting like the suspension of disbelief, that when he took off his helmet, his hair looks like our hair looks when we wake up? Like his hair was perfect.
It looked so good. It's the first thing I noticed. I was like, that hair though.
Yeah.
Din takes his helmet off and it's all matted. Like he has helmet hair.
Din looks rough. Din looks like that action figure they made for
the potato one. Yeah.
Cobb can take his helmet off, and that's why Din was so mad. He's like, what do you do with your hair?
Yeah, exactly.
He did just put the helmet on too, so he doesn't wear it all the time because they show him without it first. So I imagine he probably just lightly set it on there, walks in, and then lightly takes it off, which was shocking too to see him just so eloquently like take it off, or loosely take it off. It's so shocking next to what we've been used to.
Do you think he knows the code of modern Mandalorians? Because he just said, let's have a drink, and he must have just assumed he's going to take his helmet off too. Or do you think he was saying that and to spite him in a way?
I kind of figured he just didn't know.
Okay.
I think he knew enough that he's like, oh, you probably don't like that I'm wearing this, but
I don't think I don't think he knows about the creed necessarily. What I was thinking was, does Mando recognize the armor?
Right.
And like we got kind of a long close up on Mando's face, and like obviously we can't see his facial reactions, but I'm wondering if he did recognize the armor and just didn't say anything right away about it.
That's a good question.
Right.
Is Boba Fett a known Mandalorian to a known person, individual to the Mandalorians? I feel like he might be like off the radar to them.
Like, he's a known bounty hunter.
I feel like Din should know. It would surprise me if he didn't, but I'm also like, he didn't know what Jedi were, so like he might just be kind of out doing his own thing in the galaxy.
Yeah, true. Or you just heard that was a Mandalorian because of the armor and the game of telephone and word of mouth. They just assumed that person was a Mandalorian. So when he met him, he maybe thought he was. Like, I mean, it's interesting. He definitely looked a little. It looked cool seeing him in that doorway when he shows up because you see the green tint and stuff. But it looked a little like not put together. Like if you look at him next to the Mandalorian's like intimidating.
Yeah.
He looked like a Halloween costume almost.
He did. He looked like a little kid that just bought the arms and the chest pad and was like, "Yeah, I'm doing it."
He's wearing regular clothes under the armor. Whereas like Boba Fett, it like has the jumpsuit, so it feels like it's part of his ensemble, but like it really isn't. When you look at it, you're like,
Cobb Vanth has Dockers on
outfit with the Boba Fett outfit on the outside. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what he did. He just got the pieces that were there from the Jawas and slapped them on.
Yeah, he's not trying to be Mandalorian. He's just trying to help his people. Did everyone read Aftermath, or like what was everyone's knowledge of Cobb going into this?
I knew of him. I haven't read the whole book though. I haven't finished, but I knew who he was going in just based on like the rumors and stuff over the summer and doing research and who the character was.
That's why I'm curious to see like what everyone was feeling about this.
I was pretty caught up on his story and what he was all about and the whole sheriff angle and that he had the armor and how he got it. So I got the bullet points of who he is, but I didn't read the Aftermath books.
Mm-hmm. I did. I do. My thing with it is like, everybody's like Boba Fett and I'm like Cobb Vanth. I was.
That's basically how I'm feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that comes from, it's the same feeling right now I have after I saw Solo, because I've described Solo as like a thank you to fans. There's too many like small things that got elevated to live action in that movie. One of which being Darth Maul. It's like, this doesn't make sense to the average Star Wars fan. It makes sense to the diehard Star Wars fan. And they're doing it because this is the bigger story. And when I realized that this was going to be Cobb Vanth and they were going to go for it, it felt like payoff for me who had been paying attention to those smaller stories. And now I feel more invested and more excited. And it makes me be like, give us this. Let the movies and everything be this. I love this. This is payoff.
I totally agree. And I think I think you hit the nail on the head that maybe they're trying to pull people in a little deeper. Like, oh, let's stick the Darksaber in that final episode. Oh, you don't know what the Darksaber is? Maybe check out the Clone Wars coming back in a couple months.
Right.
You want to know who this Cobb Vanth guy is? Pick up some books. Like,
or have the subtitles on like I did. So it came on the screen, he spoke and it said Cobb Vanth and he goes, "I'm Cobb Vanth." And I was like, I know.
Well, like Lacey and John and Molly, were you all like feeling that same level of excitement when you realized who this was? Or was it more of just like oh, cool, he's a sheriff?
I thought, oh my gosh, the things over the summer were true. That was my first thought is, oh no, what else is true?
Right.
And then my following thought was, oh, this is going to probably answer the whole Boba Fett thing then. More than the attachment to the character, it's the repercussions of the character being there. For me.
Go ahead, Molly.
I mean, Alex, you've told me basically everything about
I've been vomiting. I've been word vomiting about Cobb Vanth for so long that you might as well have
your vows had Cobb Vanth in it. It's just
But like when I first heard his story. Like shortly after the book came out, you did the book review and everything. I was like, that's a really interesting story. I wonder if he'll ever pop up in anything else. And I'm not like diehard Cobb Vanth fan, but I was also hesitant to have Boba Fett in this show, especially just like right off the bat. So I'm super happy that they put Cobb Vanth in there and had him in the armor, and just it was everything that we kind of talked about that we wanted to see. But we're also getting Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't forget.
Let's talk about that. Like, how was everyone feeling about Boba Fett compared to Cobb? Was that like the bigger bombshell?
I don't know. I got into the Cobb Vanth excitement because about 5 months ago, I for the first time started watching Justified, and that's who this character is, really. So I wonder if they plucked him based on his performance there, because it's the same accent, same body language, same swagger, same "let me pour you a drink, partner." Like, and I was waiting to see like Walter Goggins just walk in out of nowhere, you know. But so that got me excited for that. But the Boba Fett thing, when you saw the silhouette, I immediately was like, "That's Boba Fett." It wasn't like when he turned around and I saw his face, I was like, "That's him."
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if I got the shock value. And of course, you hear the rumors and stuff, and all the big trades reported it. So I think the Hollywood Reporter said Tamara Morrison's coming back, confirmed exclusive as Boba Fett. And you're like, all right.
All right.
And then you're on Tatooine, and there's the armor, and you see a silhouette. You're like, oh, it's Boba Fett. There he is. I was still excited, though, but it wasn't like, oh.
I was surprised they did it, but I definitely texted John and James immediately and was like, don't go online. Watch the episode. Do not go online yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing for me, and this is kind of a confession. I haven't told John and Lacey this, but I watched the whole episode, and then I was like waiting to see, you know, when John pops in or whatever, and he goes, "Wow," or something. So I was like, I assume he saw the episode, right? And I go, "I know, dude, they did it. Cobb Vanth. It's crazy." And he goes, "And Boba Fett." And I go, "What?" Like,
you didn't know?
100%. No, I watched the episode. I saw the guy at the end, and I was like, "Who's that?" Literally, never dawned on me at all.
I mean, he definitely he's hairless now.
He has
He's
some
a little-
scarring. Yeah, a little roughed up.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait, hold on." And I did the Reddit thing, and I jumped on, and I was looking around. I was like, "Yeah, this is everybody's saying this. Let me pull it back up." Pulled it back up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's definitely him." Yeah, wow, crazy. But it like
James shuts it off after Cobb Vanth shows up. He's like, "Well,
All I
vindicated."
need.
Yeah. And I've been thinking all day, like, what if somebody watched that and they're like, "So what's with that alien at the end?" And they're like, "Oh, the like Yoda alien." You're like, "Oh yeah, it is like Yoda."
That's
I just
amazing.
felt like I totally missed that reveal altogether. Yeah. I was hyped on Cobb Vanth, man. I was like, that's it. That's the big surprise.
Yeah.
That's me and James we're the side of the chat that's just like, we'll talk about Cobb Vanth, and you guys can talk about Boba Fett. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the last we're seeing of Cobb Vanth?
I hope not.
No, I think he's coming back later in the season. Yeah, I hope our paths cross again, and he's gonna be back.
The way season 1 went, where it was like, let's meet a character here, a character here, a character here, and then at the end they all come together. Like, I'm kind of hopeful he joins the team.
Yeah.
I'm a little fearful now that we've seen Boba Fett, that like, who knows what he's up to right now. But I'm afraid that maybe the next time we see him, Cobb Vanth maybe dead. Maybe he's like, you've been holding on to my armor for, and like, maybe he's hunting his own armor. But like, it's been 5 years, man. What have you been doing?
Right.
Chilling.
And he's like, I don't even have it anymore.
Yeah, right.
It looks like he's been maybe I'm wrong, but based on his garb and his weaponry, it looks like he's been undercover as a Tusken Raider.
That's what I was gonna say. Like when they showed him at the end, he looked exactly like I hoped he would look, just kind of like beaten down, roughed up, and yeah, it looked like he had a gaffy stick and some other stuff just like packed on his shoulders, and yeah, it'd be interesting if he were kind of incognito But like, what's he doing? What's he been doing?
Do you think he's the guy that walked
Good
up
mystery.
to Fennec Shand?
Could be.
I don't think
So-
so.
Whose feet
but-
are those?
So when I noticed too, when Cobb Vanth walks in, he definitely has the spur sound. So that points to me that it probably was Cobb Vanth that walked up to Fennec Shand.
I kind of forgot about this, but I was hoping that we would see Fennec Shand. That
Me
Yeah.
too.
there would be some mention that she'd be like, "Oh, it's you!" Like she's still healing or something. But
On my rewatch, man, I think she's dead. I really do think she's dead because she
Yeah.
falls into the position, and then they show her way later, and she's still sitting there in the exact same position. And then they show her even later after that, and she's still sitting in that same position.
Oh wait, maybe because she had a
Mm.
sniper rifle, right? When
Yeah.
she was shooting people, and then Boba Fett at the end of the episode had some type of rifle on his back.
Mm.
So maybe he took it from
Mm.
her when she's dead.
Nice catch. I'll have to look
Yeah.
at that.
I've had countless people send me pictures from that
Right, you get
scene
them
that
all
have
the
been
time.
blown up and like the
Enhanced.
image has been brightened, and they're like, "This is not Boba Fett. It's Mando," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I kind of hope it's someone brand new. I don't at this point.
Right.
Where do we know geographically on Tatooine where that incident happened in relation to where Cobb's village is? Like, is it nearby?
Probably not super nearby because when the mechanic was showing him the map, seemed kind of far.
Yeah. So, like, is he just like, why would he be out patrolling if he's just taking care of this village or this little town?
I don't know. It could be Boba, which that'd be a shame.
I think it's
'cause
Boba. I'm in Boba's
I
court.
have a bet out on it right now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because my bet was it was in season 1. Me and my buddy at the Temple Institute were like, he had a bet that Boba Fett would be in season 1, and I said no. And then that one episode came down to our moment of contention, and then in this episode, I was like, it was Cobb Vanth, and at the end, then I'm like, it could have been either one. We still don't know.
Okay.
Well, and I just finished watching Lost for the first time. I'm like 10 years behind everybody. They imagine they just don't address it ever.
Oh, jeez.
And you and your friend are just at a like you hate each other for the rest of your lives.
I'm
So
just
I was
thinking
just
it's him
thinking-
because he's got the black cape, and then the character in season 1 had a black cape, and they show him turn around and then walk towards the camera at the end, Boba Fett, and he has that black cape on.
So are we assuming he had the armor, was doing stuff, and then Cobb Vanth took the armor? Then that's
No.
what would
No.
have to happen then if that's Boba Fett who went up to
That's
the
why
body.
I think it is Cobb Vanth, and I think that if they didn't address it, I think the side falls on it was probably meant to be a teaser for Cobb Vanth more than a teaser for Boba Fett, because it definitely feels like the guy who walks up, the noises and the sounds and everything you hear comes from the armor and the equipment that he has on.
But he doesn't have a gun, though.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't know about the gun thing, but I'm hearing the like little satellite boop-a-doop-a-doop sound and like the spurs. Like I'm basing that on that's supposed to be the teaser. It's the equipment.
I think it's Cobb Vanth.
I kind of think it was a teaser for both. Like, I think that it was meant to be a tease for like what's to come, and I do think maybe there is an end game of Boba Fett versus the Mandalorian.
That'd be
Which is
cool.
So,
Yeah.
episode 5, a little bit of Boba Fett, even if it was Cobb Vanth. And then episode 9, we get the, like, literally there's Boba Fett. You see him. But I think over time, maybe Boba is going to become more significant. But like, I was super against him being in season 1 because I didn't want him to overshadow Din. Now I think we're at a point where, yeah, Boba Fett can show up and we will be rooting for Din still.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
our favorite now.
Like Alex, you and Molly both just brought up, like, if Boba Fett has been kind of in the shadows, like overseeing what's going on and knowing his armor was taken and he has an idea where it is, obviously, like you said, what is it? Why has he been waiting? Like, what's his game? What is he waiting for?
I will say they haven't straight up said the timeline for this show. They've been like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, but I feel like that's still flexible. So
To what they need it to be. Yeah.
yeah, I think they maybe have an idea, but they could always nail it down later on. Maybe the reference book that's coming out, the visual guide next year.
Yeah.
But
Which I loved the reference they made to the Death Star in this episode. That was really cool.
That was cool. That they had the visual, like the TV of it, and yeah,
Mhm.
and there he's in the bar,
Which-
like we did it, and then it's like, oh, nope.
now we're scared.
Yeah.
I was looking and somebody commented or somebody wrote, is that the first time we've ever seen like the destruction of the Death Star on the HoloNet? And I was like, no, I distinctly remember it was in the mobile game Uprising.
Oh,
Alex,
yeah.
you remember that?
Mhm.
And there's like a scene where somebody shows it to like a hut, I assume probably Jabba, and like he sees it explode and has their like reaction to it and stuff. And I was like, I went back, watched the trailer, and it's like it's the exact same clip like that they're showing people. And I feel like that in books and stuff has been tossed around too. So it's pretty interesting to know that there was like an official clip that just got like mass retweeted, if you will, across the entire galaxy, that everybody saw the same clip and they're sticking with it, which is pretty cool.
Before we go to questions, I do want to know just what was everyone's favorite moment, part of the episode, favorite anything. Molly, why don't you start?
This is kind of cheating, but can I just say the little Easter eggs? Like
Well, what was your favorite Easter egg then?
Okay.
The striped pastel one.
I'll say Cobb Vanth riding up on Anakin's pod racer piece. Like, is that what that is?
It looked like it.
Yeah, I wish I was that observant. When I saw someone like say that online, I was like, I would have had no chance of connecting that. Like, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
It could have just been a similar design. Like some of the colors were off, but it could have been like Cobb Vanth is just repurposing everything he finds and just
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved all the Easter eggs. That one in particular was my favorite. I also loved R5 getting a bunch of sass.
I was thrilled to know that he's still around. He's fine. He found a master. Like that was something in his from a certain point of view story. He's like, I just want to serve somebody, be happy, and like he found that. He did it.
And hitting when Den hits got Cobb Vanth's jetpack.
Oh yeah.
Both laughed at that part.
I like that R5 did have like a Filoni mention, like the oil spot from the bad motivator and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that detail shows that they really do care. So when people say like they don't,
that was very specific, just to show you that it was that same one. Yeah,
so good.
James, how about you?
Yeah, favorite thing for me is seeing the Mandalorian and Cobb Vanth finally be like, this isn't working, teaming up and both using their jetpacks to fly around this thing and take it out in that way. I'm sitting there. It was it kind of took me back to that episode 3 of season 1 where you like see them flying around and there's something I feel like it was just like a nerd wave across the world that was just like, is this really happening right now? Am I really watching this? This is not what I expected, but it is exceeding my expectations very greatly. And I just think something about them flying around together. And I guess also at the end too, like with him popping out of the mouth and doing kind of like the superhero landing and all that, like there's something really cool about how they handled the jetpack and the team up there to defeat the Krayt Dragons. It is so good. So good.
That was going to be my favorite if no one had said it. So yeah, seeing Mandalorians fly around in live action, like I remember in chapter 3, I was just like, I never thought we would have seen this in live action, but now it looks even better. Like the jetpack work just looks better than it did in season 1. Some of season 1 was a little bit of like this, where you're like, it looked great in this episode. Yeah, seeing them work together, and I'm like, I don't think Din would admit it, but I think he thinks Cobb is cool, and it maybe is like you could keep the armor, maybe, but I'm still taking it.
Favreau's like, I know how to direct flying metal dudes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at that.
How about you, Lacey?
My favorite part is definitely the Mandalorian popping out of the dragon's mouth and just like saving the day and just like being covered in goo, but like somehow is like I'm fine and like saves the day for everybody. The other side one, because we've already said that, is this is gonna be like totally weird, but for some reason I really enjoyed it. Was he took a hunk of meat and put it on his bike, and Baby Yoda was just like, my meat, and then he just like covers it and they're off. And I'm like, what? Okay. I like steak too. All right. And I just found it so funny for some reason. It was also like 4 a.m, but it was very funny to me.
Did Tusken Raiders have deep freezers? That's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
It was such it was like a Flintstone type chunk. It was just so funny to me. I don't know. It was very, very funny.
We're gonna make a lot of jerky.
Right?
The Great Dragon Pearl was a very nice touch.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was. Yeah.
I burst out laughing when they yanked that thing out.
I think mine is simple, but it's like that throwback to the Western like duel showdown thing where they're in the bar and he's like, let's have a drink, and he sits down and he's like, take that off, and he's like, no, and he's like, well, I'll make you take it off, and he's like, well, I see you got the kid there, and he's like, don't worry, he's seen plenty. Like that whole exchange, and then you see Cobb Vanth kind of twitch his fingers by his gun, and they're about to do the Old West kind of like draw thing. I just love that whole interaction there. I don't know if it's because it's just old school, spaghetti Western style stuff, and it's a very simple part of this like gigantic episode, but something about that, I was really engaged in that whole interaction, and Baby Yoda, like you said, Molly diving into the thing, and I just like that whole introduction to Cobb Vanth with the spotchka drink and that whole little sequence there, little Han Solo-y in the Mos Eisley Cantina for me. I like that.
It was intense. I was afraid they were just going to start blasting each other right away, and I was like, "Don't you take Cobb from me!" All right, well, let's get to some questions. The blonde Damon, thanks for sending a super chat. The Tuskens are speaking British Sign Language, they say, and my other half is translating for me. So I guess there are some actual words that were being said in there.
Oh, cool.
Blonde Damon, if you're still here, I'll keep an eye on chat. If you know what they were saying, that'd be very interesting. What does this mean?
Yeah, right.
Kill. That's what I got. Kill.
Ted Comet
Chop it up.
with another one asks, if building off of his previous question, did Shmi refuse the drink too? So
what is that like gourd thing, right?
yeah. I didn't know what that was at first, but I guess that's just one of the ways they've discovered water. Ways that the desert provides.
Yeah, maybe it's like a plant that like has some kind of liquid in it that you can drink and basically live off of. But it
like
smells
cactus
nasty.
or something. Yeah, sort of.
I thought they were about to do drugs at first.
Moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought that too. Yeah, like they have moisture vapors, but then like the same people live off the land, so they have their own like natural form of discovering how to get water. Yeah,
Maybe it's a Star Wars coconut.
could be.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Major Zuma, thank you for the super chat and question. As a reader of the books, seeing an obscure character like Vance show up in such a big way is amazing and satisfying, like seeing Thrawn and Rebels. I think we all agree.
Yeah,
Definitely.
David Wilson, thank you for your questions and super chat. He can totally see this being the only time we see Boba Fett. 2, doesn't see Fett as being antagonistic if he's in it more. And 3, this episode is proof that less is more in the marketing.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's we were talking about this a little beforehand, but we got through most of the trailer, it feels like, today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it started out on that
Good
like
point.
graffiti place, I was like, okay, good. I didn't want to like spend too much time here. Like there has to just be a simple reason why he's there, why
Right.
he tied that guy up, and then he was out of there. So
I mean,
That
yeah,
was so Batman when he tied him up and left
Yeah.
him. So Batman.
Can we just take a second and recognize that that's John Leguizamo?
right.
yes,
or Leguizamo.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his name.
John
What?
Leguizamo.
Him, that guy.
I feel like
no.
I feel like casting
blown
rumors
away.
came out for him, like for season 1.
I forgot about those.
I feel like I remember someone saying like, yeah, John Leguizamo's in it. And at the end of season 1, I was like, I don't remember seeing him in the credits, but I guess they were still filming season 2 already back then.
And so someone said they saw one of the people in the street with Sam Witwer. I don't know if that was confirmed.
I saw someone mention that as well.
Yeah, I didn't see him. But
Yeah.
I want Sam to be, what's his name? The guy, John Ratzenberger of Pixar. I want Sam to be that for Star Wars, where they just keep throwing him into stuff.
Yeah.
Like him and Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, I did spend a lot of this episode searching for Malakili because that was my prediction for Steel. I said Malakili would be in this season, and I was like, is he in there?
Yeah, I mean,
time.
going back to the Aftermath stuff, that's the tie-in with Cobb Vanth there, so
I think he was there.
probably.
I got a question from Dragonus Prime. Thank you. How would you feel about Din returning to Tatooine to ask Cobb Vanth to join his clan? He certainly fights like a Mando. I don't know that I see him asking him to join his clan. I definitely see him asking to like come help out.
Hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just chill.
You want to be friends?
I mean, he didn't ask Cara Dune to join the clan. And that was
Right.
after they were a clan of 2, so
That's I definitely see this show like it's building its cast of characters, and I think they're going to continue to return, like Pelly did in this episode, and like we know that the Mithril apparently is going to be back
Yeah, right?
this season.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to keep seeing some of these people pop up again and again.
And I was talking to a bunch of people, and they're like, we didn't like. I loved the episode, but I didn't like Amy Sedaris. She didn't act well, and I was like, watch A New Hope again. Like it's that perfect like wooden, like weird B acting that you kind of want in that type of character in Star Wars, in my opinion. So
I thought she was very funny.
I did too. I liked it a lot, and it's like sometimes when people say they don't like something, I'm like, wait, am I not critical enough? Should I not like this? But I'm like, no, I liked it. Forget about that. She was great.
I loved her line about like, if you ever want to like sell him, I'll take him. Just kidding. Not really.
No, not really. And then she's like, if he ever divides or something,
Right,
I'll buy the. I was like, Gizmo, what?
Yeah, I was gonna drop that as an Easter egg on our show later, but
You're welcome.
Question from Rick Villanueva. Thank you for the super chat.
Hey, Rick.
What episode is Meeber Gascon going to pop up in? So if we're talking about obscure, I mean, I wouldn't even. Meeber's not as obscure as Cobb Vanth, so anything's game.
just tweet at Steven Stanton and
Figure it out.
try to figure it out.
Maybe Meeber was in R5D4. Maybe he's been hiding out in an astromech droid. He's
that is
already-
weird to me that he's not as obscure as Cobb Vanth.
Right?
Oh, that's great.
PW Gregory, thank you for the super chat. Says this could have been an episode of the KOTOR TV show. I mean, the whole Crate Dragon fight was basically lifted from KOTOR.
Right.
Not the methods, but just the idea of it. And you even got that pearl at the end.
Does
Yeah,
this crush people's dreams of the Kenobi show?
Hmm.
I actually think it's a good thing that they did this here as opposed to in the Kenobi show. I feel like because the Kenobi series is a one shot, 6 episodes. Do you want to waste 1/6 of that on a Crate Dragon fight? I don't.
Yeah.
That's
I think
true.
a lot of people would have. I think a lot of people would have wanted all 6 to be about the process of taking it down.
Well, it sounds like that show was originally going to be a movie, right? So they probably have
Yeah.
a very condensed story that they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
I doubt it involved fighting a Crate Dragon, but
There would have been a montage of him training and just like 1 minute of him killing a Crate Dragon, and that's it.
I do think, and I haven't brought this up yet, but I really liked that the Crate Dragon sound was basically the sound Obi-Wan makes in A New Hope.
Now
I
they
didn't-
can't
I didn't
change
catch
it.
that.
Yeah, now they can't change it
They
anymore.
finally it's locked in now, George. You cannot change it.
I guess they can, but then they have to change it again.
double
like
change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted comment with another question. Thank you. What if, I think he's talking about Fennec Shand. What if she's with Boba? She could be.
Yeah. I mean, if she's still alive,
Yeah,
they probably know each other.
Not if she's dead.
Yeah. I mean, she was an assassin. He's a bounty hunter. I could see them knowing each other.
Boba, Fennec, and Toro are still together. Not dead.
Ben Solo's there too. Just add the whole crew.
Anyone who is dead, they're back.
That's the thing about Star Wars. You can get cut in half and be thrown down a pit. You can still survive. So
Robot legs.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker once said, "No one's ever really gone, so now everyone could always come back."
Just
I like this. Immortal Soldier, thanks for the super chat, says, nice little detail. The Tusken Raiders travel in lines to hide their numbers.
Yes.
I did not pick up on that.
I
That's
saw
really
that.
good.
Yeah.
As they were coming into the village.
Yeah.
The funny thing is when that one guy was baiting the bantha, he was walking alongside of it, and I was like, "No, you're supposed to be on top of it because you're supposed to be a straight line." But a lot of banthas were lost in this episode.
I felt
After that
bad.
one that they put out
I felt
purposely,
bad for
and
that
then
one
he
too.
ate the guy
And
instead.
now
guy.
the bantha's just like,
It's like when you watch a movie and a human gets killed and you don't care, but the dog dies. and you
oh,
get upset.
yep.
That's
So
like
so when the Tusken Raider got eaten, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
The one I felt bad for is the one that had all the bombs on him, and Mando
Yeah.
looks at him. He's like, "I got an idea," and he's like, he's trying to get away. And he's like, "Shh, shh, you're about to die."
I got really excited because I was like, oh, they're gonna Jaws it, and then I went, oh no, like it's not quite the same.
You're so right, James. He was like, "Shh, it's okay. Just shh."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, weren't people joking in the first trailer that they thought the bantha was talking, like saying
Yeah.
like something? That would have been funny if the bantha was like, "What?
Wait, what now?
Me?"
It's like the same exchange with Toro in season 1. He's like, it's okay, I have a jetpack and I can fly out of here. The bantha's like, I don't have a jetpack. Nope. Angry Liquid, thank you for your super chat, has another detail I missed. This is funny. I think those sand people are the same ones from season 1 because they have Toro's monocular. That's
that's
That's a
People
good
are
catch.
so good.
I know.
Oh man.
I saw
I was
someone point
watching
that
on my
out, but I haven't
phone,
had time
so
to
I'm
go
a
back
little-
and check it. Yeah.
a little. But
That's
wow.
funny.
Wow.
Nice touch.
Zachary Taylor says, thank you for your super chat. The focus on the Crate Pearl could tease how Fett joined Tusken society, defeating a Sarlacc. Even if he didn't, the Crate did. That would give him standing. Well, I think the Sarlacc pit that they were talking about in this episode was literally in that cave.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the crate dragon, ate it? Or
I think
guess.
he did.
I took it that the Tusken Raiders eat Sarlacc.
Maybe. I mean,
I took
think
it as the
Tuskens
dragon
probably-
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took it as the dragon ate the Sarlacc pit, and that's why it was in that cave.
And then it's a
that-
thing that
that
they
makes
do,
sense.
so it wasn't necessarily the one Boba was in, but they're
Yeah.
letting you know that this happens. I don't know.
There's always a bigger dragon.
Yeah.
an acid spitting dragon.
Oh boy. Okay, we have a lot of questions still, and we have 12 minutes because Molly and I have to go to my mom's birthday dinner, so I don't want people to like keep asking a ton of questions that I can't answer.
You
You
don't
have the
upset
Green
Mom.
Lantern situation now. Now choose Star Wars or your
Wait,
mom.
Alex, does your mom know Star Wars?
Does she? In what way?
Like, is she good? Did she pass it on to you? Is she well versed in Star Wars?
My dad passed it on to me more than she did, but she's fairly well versed.
So you print out the rest of the questions, bring them over to Mom's.
Oh, that's
Fire 'em away.
Not a bad idea. I mean, it'll be entertaining regardless.
Alex, there was one sent in without a message. I have the question.
Okay.
But when you get to it.
Okay. Mr. Pex, thank you for your super chat. Maybe my favorite part of the episode was the plan to kill the Crate Dragon. It was straight out of the Tatooine quest from Knights of the Old Republic. Was it the same plan? I said that the methods were different, but I guess you are just trying to lure it out of the cave. Was there bombs involved? It's been like 2 or 3 years since I played KOTOR.
It felt very video game where it was like,
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's bits, and you're like, oh, I'm on to the third phase. I need to get to the top of the boss because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that classic.
And there's
Beat the
that
Beast thing.
ominous voice that's just like, "Great job! Now let's try to go and do the thing."
Yeah, right.
That's Cobb Vanth flying around.
It's like Beowulf. It's like you're always luring the beast out of the cave. That's always the thing.
Yeah. And yeah, this whole show is very video gamey of like, I got enough money to upgrade my armor this one little bit. And like,
Sure.
now I'm upgrading it now. Now I got a jetpack and I
That's
can
true.
unlock another area of the map.
He joined a guild.
David Probus says, "Hey, John Hoey, do your tauntaun sound. If you don't want to do that,
All right.
if you don't want to be a performing monkey, I'll do it.
Can you do it? You do one.
I'll
and
try
do
one.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
try it. You go first.
Not
That might be better than mine.
That's good. That's very good.
I think combine those two together, perfect.
Yeah, we'll
we
mix
gotta
them.
call Matthew Wood and be like, can you take me and Alex and just put our voices
Yeah.
together and we'll be the dyad of the tauntaun.
Molly, I think I'm at Jacob the Hodges question.
Yeah, his question was, did anyone hear how they sampled the crate dragon noises from Obi-Wan?
Yeah,
Very
you know
cool.
what? I'm actually curious though. I need to go listen to like the other versions, but I wonder if they just mixed all like 3. They've changed it 3 times, I think.
Yeah, maybe
I
it was
wonder
a
if they
tribute
used all of
to-
them.
It wasn't really like the very shrill one that we
Right.
got in the special edition, but maybe like it was.
It wasn't the share from I Believe. But I think like Favreau, he's a very like original trilogy purist. So maybe he's like, I want to put in the original version that I remember, but also the new ones or something. I don't know.
I could see it being like all of the above.
Yeah.
Okay, here we got Lord Hosk. Thank you for your super chat and question. How can we be sure that that was Boba at the end and not a clone trooper? I just
Guess we
don't see
can't.
them. I mean, yeah, I just don't see them teasing a random clone on
Could you
Tatooine.
imagine if they did? They were like, it's just a guy, guys.
Well, that's what James thought.
Well, I thought it was a new person that was going to have significance.
Did you not
later. I didn't
recognize it
take
was
to a
Tamir
clone.
Morrison, you're saying?
No. I just saw it as like creepy guy at the end or something.
Creepy
I don't know. Yeah, someone overlooking ominous being or something like that.
The credits are just
Um,
creepy guy 1.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Oh, was
I
he
mean,
in the
I-
credits?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
I mean,
I don't know about the
probably.
credits, but he was on the IMDb page.
No, I think he was one of the main credits before the full pages. I think he was listed as I don't know if it said Boba Fett though.
Just
It
the
probably
name,
just had
yeah.
his name.
Usually
just
they
his name.
just
I
said
think
the
it's just
name.
his name. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
To look at that later. Kylie, what's up? Thank you for your question, super chat. The score and visuals are amazing. What were your opinions of the visuals and score of this episode? A freaking dragon. That's how you debut a new season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The music was so good.
We haven't talked about the music at all. I think that's just kind of everyone assumes it's going to be great at this point. So
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Re-listening again, there were some good like when the sand people show up and stuff, they do callbacks to the same instruments that were used and
like
Yeah,
timpanis
like-
and that sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah, very good utilization of sound, if you will, to bring back the nostalgic emotion that you have when you watch some of the other
And I
content.
don't know if this is how you guys are, but like when I first watch Star Wars thing, maybe I'm not as observant, but I don't pay attention to the music. It's like background, and I'm
Oh,
focused.
I'm the
on what's going
opposite. I
on.
hear it first.
So, but I think for me that makes it work though, because it's
Mhm.
obviously there and it's doing what it needs to do to me without like subliminally, without me being like, oh, the music's right here. But then the next other watches, I'm like, oh, they weave that theme in and that sort of thing. So I love what he's been doing.
I'm the same way, John. Like I wouldn't hear any specific things that
Mhm.
like ring a bell in my head until maybe the second or third watch
Yeah,
when I'm really listening for it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking at my notes and it's literally like, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. Music is really cool. Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. Music. The music at the beginning is really cool where it's like kind of techie sounding, where they're in that graffiti type city area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was very like, it reminded me of Tron. I always go to that because that's like ultimate tech, but it had a very techie sound to it.
And one more thing just about visuals before we move on is the end. I didn't notice this till my second watch through, but it does goes into full screen like an IMAX thing.
It
Oh
does.
yeah, I heard
Makes
someone
you to,
talk.
like-
I totally missed that. I need
Me
to watch
too.
that
Yeah,
part
it
again.
reminds me of like Dark Knight or something because you're watching it and you watch the whole show and you're like, here it is. But they really leaned into the spectacle of the crate dragon because right as soon as they show up, right as soon as it's coming out for the first time, you see the bars like expand up and it gets bigger on screen. It's insane. Go watch it again. It's like a crazy detail.
Very
Basically,
cool.
the whole rest of the episode is until Mando is driving away. When he's driving away, they go back to that.
I did
that
not even
aspect
catch
ratio.
that. I saw
I
people
noticed
talking
that.
about it, and I was like,
So cool.
John's gonna hate me. You know, I noticed it because they do it in Hunger Games: Catching Fire, where she's
Oh my
coming up the
God.
tunnel and it goes
Good
like
grief.
this.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
grief.
got a question from Sean Sullivan. What's up, buddy? Do you think we'll get fan favorite Ben Quadraneros in an episode? Asking for a friend.
only if we go to the ton system, and Sean doesn't know where that is. So
Molly's throwing trivia shade. all of a
Owned.
sudden. I mean, like, you can't say anything's off the table now because we got Cobb
Yeah.
Vanth. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
And
could be.
Ben Quadraneros with 21 year later CG would probably look kind of cool.
Yeah.
what if they did like an actual like
Got puppet.
puppet of him?
I'm down.
I think I'd even prefer that.
Yeah, I'm down.
Aaron Bagel, thanks for your super chat and question. I love that they really leaned into the Western theme, especially all the journey montages and even the aspect ratio changing during the. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Perfect timing to bring that up. Yeah, I mean, the whole show it has been very Western, but this one reminded me a lot. Anytime the Tusken Raiders are around, especially, you definitely get that kind of like the Searchers vibe or any of those old John Wayne movies.
Yeah. And that's that old town he's strolling into, where it's just like in the middle of nowhere, and there's a bank, a prison, a thing, and then there's nothing else on the other side.
Yeah.
And he's strolling through, and people are staring at him. They're walking out of their doorways, like they were. It's just like the quintessential. It might as well have been Clint Eastwood walking down a street in an old 1970s or 60s Western film.
Yeah.
I loved that they showed like all the different people in the town going like,
I love that. Yeah. That one woman was standing in the shade and she just went
like
Yeah.
who dat?
she's like, let me get a little closer, not too close. Just a little bit.
Okay, we have four more. We're gonna do this. Elijah Neal, thank you for your super chat. If Cobb Vanth appeared this episode, then I better see the Knights of Ren or Hut Council members later on. And you know their names, so it'll be easier to make videos of them. Elijah is one of our normal viewers and continually asks me trivia questions about the Knights of Ren and the Hut Council until I remember all of them, all their names. So Cobb Vanth is easy to remember. It's just one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Jane Dalton, thank you for your super chat. Why do you think that Din was willing to sacrifice himself at the end, possibly when his mission is to protect the child? And yeah, that's a good question.
He was very flippant about it. He was like, hey,
Yeah.
take care of that kid.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah. I was shocked when he said that. I was like, how dare you?
I think I don't know if he's an arrogant guy, Din Djarin, but I don't think he went in there expecting his life was going to end.
Yeah. You also say you don't think he's arrogant when he's like, I thought you didn't like to gamble. And he's like, I don't.
That's true. You're right.
That's a good
You're
point.
right. He was kind of cocky. You're right. Yeah. Maybe just how he is.
But maybe he just, I think that you might be right that he would say, I'm going to make it out of this. But also, I think he maybe has a bit of a death wish. Like at the end of season 1, he was like, no, don't take my helmet off. And it's like, literally all I need to do is like spritz some Bacta on your face and you'll be fine. He's like, don't do it. I'm dying here as a hero. And it's like,
that's true. He's very dramatic in that sense, I guess.
But I totally agree. I think it was mostly to show that he trusts Cobb Vanth, that he's like, we're on the same side. I get you. I understand you. And I trust you to take care of the baby.
Yeah,
That's
didn't-
you
another
can- if you-
Western right there. You're like, your friend dies, and you're like, I made a promise to Din that I'd take care of you. He's like,
Yeah.
Baby Yoda's a teenager disobeying him. He's like, I told Din I would take care of you. Let's have some spotchka.
Yeah, I never took it as like Solo telling Chewbacca, "It's your job to watch over the princess." Now, I don't think that's what it was. I think he was just saying like, "Keep your eye on the kid," like sort of thing. Like, I'm gonna go over here, watch the kid for me, like kind of thing. That's how I took it.
It's another one. We haven't had a chance to watch this a second time yet, and I really want to. But a lot of that maybe will come out in a second viewing. Tavishka Productions, thanks for your super chat. I cried for that sacrificial bantha.
Oh,
They had a ton of swagger though. They did.
Aw.
They
poor
did.
man.
Ray Dominguez, thank you for your question. Did this episode just Dune harder than the upcoming movie?
Wait,
That's
did it
the
what?
first thought when
Did
it
it
comes
Dune
Dune
harder with the
Oh.
worms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes out.
Yeah, it had our sandworms. It had a desert planet.
hmm
Let's see. We have two more super chats right as we're wrapping up. Tanta V4 just says 5 more, and I don't know what that means.
Because you said 4 more, and they're saying now 5 more. Haha.
For what?
Like you said
5
4
more
more
questions?
super chats, and he or she.
Oh,
Okay. Well, thank you, Tanta V4. Sure.
Sorry, Mom. Alex is not making it to dinner.
And then our last one is from Ted Comet, who just wants Molly to know that there's a new Batman movie or game out that lets you make decisions that affect the story and endings, because he knows that you love those things.
yay! I'll keep an eye out.
But that's perfect. 701, we did good. Thank you, everyone, for your questions and your super chats. Thank you, Lacey, James, and John, for hanging out and talking about the Mandalorian season premiere with us. Please plug all of your things.
Well, we are the Resistance Broadcast for Star Wars Newsnet. You can find us on YouTube or any podcast app. We have 2 shows every week on Monday and Thursday, and now we're doing throughout the whole course of Mandalorian, the Mando Fan Show, usually around 8:30 live on youtube.com/Star Wars Newsnet videos.
Great. I will make sure. I don't think I was smart enough to put it in the description before we started. I'll put it in there right after this, and it's been in the chat this whole time, so make sure you go check all of their stuff out.
And we'll say you guys are joining us on that show.
That's right.
Next Friday. So the
Yeah.
11/6. You guys are going to be with us to talk about Chapter 10.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to do it all over again. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank everyone in chat for hanging out with us, and we're gonna keep doing this for 7 more weeks. So I hope you thought this was fun. But thank you all for watching. May the Force be with you.